Well, what did you think of this year's Tony Awards? Overall, I thought it was a really great show. It was very well paced. Cynthia Erivo did a fantastic job. I would not be mad to see her do another Tony Awards. Like, let's talk about that opening number for a second. I know it wasn't as big and as lavish as, say, something that like Neil Patrick Harris has done in the past. In my opinion, Neil Patrick Harris has the best Tony opening numbers, or at least the most memorable to me. It was funny with the opening number. I kept thinking about that Family Guy skit where they're making fun of musicals where they're super popular because they just keep singing the same phrase over and over and over again, and then they go out into the aisles. And I kept thinking of that during it, but I really thought it was very nice, and I liked the messaging behind it as well. And there was that little bit of a paying homage to Sunset Boulevard with the beginning, with following Cynthia Erivo through the backstage area and then onto the stage where she was greeted by Oprah Winfrey. And of course, at the end with "And I Am Telling You I'm Not Going." I know it was a parody of it, but yeah, I mean, she was still singing the notes. So it was such a treat to hear her sing. And the pacing of the show itself was fabulous. I thought that they did a great job keeping everyone on track. How did you feel about the Cynthia Erivo singing playoff music? I thought that it was a fun gag. That being said, my one note to these award shows is that typically by the end of people's speeches is when things start to get a bit more serious. So I was kind of nervous. It wouldn't hit the right tone that they were trying to get with it. But otherwise, I thought it was a really great idea. And as for the speeches, I had a couple of favorites. I thought that Francis Ju's acceptance speech was so beautiful. I love the fact that he said, I forget which performer he mentioned, but someone gifted him that tux, and he said that that person told him to only wear that tux when he won a Tony Award. And I just thought that was so beautiful. I got chills listening to him speak. I'm so happy that he won that category. It was so well deserved. I felt very thrilled to see him win. I was happy to see everyone win. I think the only surprise, and I don't even mean to say like I was surprised because I didn't think that they deserved it, but I was surprised because I thought the momentum was going in a different direction. But Kara Young for Purpose, I'm so happy for her that she won this award. If for those of you who have seen Purpose, I mean, so well deserved. She owns that role. She owns that stage. She's so captivating. I didn't think that she would win this year just because she just won last year in the same category for Pearly Victorious, but I was thrilled to see her win for Purpose. Also, Jack Malone's speech when he was accepting his award, I thought was really great, especially how he ended on gender and gender roles in the characters that he was playing, and how audiences are still able to go on that journey with him, even though he is playing a woman and no one, second guesses it. I thought that that was a really great note to end on, especially with just how Operation Mincemeat is as a show. Cole Escola's speech was also very funny. I knew from the moment that they were running onto the stage just so quickly that we were in for a treat. And by the way, they looked fantastic. I love the nod. I believe it was a deliberate nod to an outfit that Bernadette Peters had worn. The dress was beautiful itself. But I love that they shouted out someone from Grindr. I thought that was so funny. And on that note, I have to give a shout out to Michael Arden. He made a funny joke that I think it took a second for the audience to kind of get, where he said, "And if there are any queer people watching tonight." And I thought that was hilarious. This was such a well-deserved win for him. I'm very happy with what he did with Maybe Happy Ending, and it was just so beautiful and so amazing. So I'm really, really happy about it. I did feel bad for Dead Outlaw. I did think that the show deserved to win something. I think if Dead Outlaw had come out basically any other year except for the year of Hamilton, then I think it would have gotten a few awards under its belt, but this year was particularly competitive. As for Hamilton, that was fantastic, seeing the original cast all come together, except Anthony Ramos. I noticed he wasn't there. A lot of people did. I saw on Twitter talking about it. I know he was at the award show. He definitely was there. He just wasn't. That's interesting. I don't know why that would be, but almost the entire original cast was on stage performing. And I thought that was really cool. When Cynthia Erivo mentioned 2015 and The Color Purple and how Hamilton was premiering back then, I almost had an existential crisis. There was no way that was 10 years ago already. It feels weird for me to say, even right now. Another surprise to me was that Stranger Things, The First Shadow, won so many technical awards. I mean, saying it out loud, it's not that surprising just because if you've seen that show, it definitely deserves those awards. But I thought that with those special awards that they were already given, that would sort of take them out of the running for set and lighting. But hey, well deserved. I thought that they were good. I would have really have loved to have seen The Hills of California win some of these more technical awards. I thought that was such a well-realized production. So that was upsetting to me. And now we have to talk about Best Leading Actress in a Musical. Probably the most anticipated award. Nicole Scherzinger ended up winning the award. I'm not surprised about this. However, I think that there is sort of this veil on top of her winning. Obviously, there are people who are upset with her for how she liked certain posts online. Plus, on top of all of this, one of her biggest cheerleaders, Patti LuPone, just recently had a significant negative reaction towards her for her comments about Keisha Lewis and Audra McDonald. It sort of created this environment where I think if Audra had won the award, it would have been incredibly satisfying. Speaking of satisfying, Audra McDonald's performance was incredible. I think it's the best I've ever seen her perform that song. It's just like in terms of raw emotion. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and before I could even say it, they even said like, it didn't feel like that's what she was giving the time that they saw the show back during previews. And honestly, I had to agree, even though I did really love her performance during previews too. You can watch my review. I thought she was excellent in it, but she brought something else to the Tony performance. And considering all of the buildup that had happened over the past couple of weeks between her and Patti LuPone, I was really happy that Audra McDonald had that moment. And Audra McDonald is going to be okay. I know that a lot of people were hoping that she would win the award last night. I get it. I was honestly sort of leaning that way too towards the end. But she's walking out of this Tony season with a new record of being the most Tony nominated performer with 11 nominations. And then also, of course, she still has her record of winning the most Tonys at 6 for her being a performer. So she's going to be okay. It just felt like it was Nicole Scherzinger's year. But I'm really curious to know your thoughts about the 2025 Tony Awards. Let me know down in the comments. I would also really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. And also, I want to just thank you so much. In my last Tony video, I mentioned that I had just hit 400 subscribers. Well, I am now past 500 and I believe over 550 subscribers right now. So you have no idea how much this means to me. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really love having these conversations with all of you. Make sure to leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this year's Tony Awards. And don't forget to check out some of my other reviews and theater related content on my channel. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay off your phone while at the theater.